Caring together, seizing the opportunity for better care. Join the conversation. Caring Together is an ambitious programme that aims to change the way we deliver health and social care in Eastern Cheshire.
So the case for change is the opening of the conversation. The solutions to the health and social care system going forward very much lie in staff and patients and the public collaborating and co-producing the options that we have moving forwards.
The following video outlines the health and social care experiences of some people who live and work in Eastern Cheshire.
Well, I was 69 last year. I was 70 in October last year. My sister was 64.
And how old was your mum?
95.
People's needs are changing and we're all living longer. More than 1 in 5 people in Eastern Cheshire are over 65. This is higher than the national average and will be nearer to 1 in 4 by 2021.
My condition that I have is something called muscular dystrophy, which is a progressive condition. Therefore, as the years go by, I'm getting weaker and weaker. This means that I'm now at a stage where I need to start accessing the care system more and more, and it's something that I'm just starting to come to terms with.
You have a struggle in the morning, you have a distressed person as the patient, you have a distressed carer, you have a bus service that's arrived and left again without the person, and then you have all the rest of the 24 hours to get through as an elderly, tired, ill carer who is totally unsupported.
It can be difficult to accept you may need help or to get the help you need.
If I was ill, I would like to know that there was someone who knew mum and dad's history who would be able to check on them.
The husband, I think at first he felt that he was having his responsibilities taken off him because he's always cared for his wife since she got this illness. And I think he kind of felt as though he wasn't needed anymore.
Services can be fragmented, difficult to access, and don't always offer the support that's needed.
I speak to 50, 60 people every day as a GP, and I know from my own personal experience of care both inside East Cheshire and outside East Cheshire that the NHS can provide fantastic care, but it also can create so many barriers that people's experience can be really rather shocking. And for me, the future lies in ensuring that we engage with our staff, engage with our patients, and find the best way of collaboration between health and social, primary and secondary, carer and professional to ensure we build the future-proof care service that we all need.
Something would be good, even if it was just to feel there was somebody at the end of the phone that I could ask questions of or look to for a bit of advice and support.
And maybe a person who you can call when you need help.
Well, somebody to talk to you, just to help you sort the problems out, really.
We know people want to be supported to care for themselves where possible.
I've always tended to sort of deal with problems on my own or with friends. And because the condition is a slowly progressing one, it's only when you look back and say, well, this time last year I couldn't do that. Oh no, I couldn't do that and now I can't, that you realise that you have deteriorated.
Being aware of what East Cheshire does offer as a family who's gone through a major stroke.
But I am aware there are carers groups out there, and I ought to make the effort to get in touch with them.
One of the cornerstones of Caring Together is ensuring that we promote healthy living and promote self-management, so people are empowered to look after their own condition, and that we don't just make the GP the default place to go, that actually patients can get help from anywhere when needed, but are empowered to do so using technology and their own knowledge.
People generally want to stay at home, but this can be difficult without help and support.
We kept her at home because we knew she was very, very independent, and we thought with carers she'd be fine, you know. She was adamant she wasn't going anywhere, you know. She used to go to the respite care because we used to persuade her, you know, we needed a bit of a rest.
Loneliness is a major cause of ill health. Over 1/3 of men and nearly 2/3 of women over 75 in East Cheshire live alone.
We often have neighbours calling that they're having an issue with a tenant or a next door neighbour. Recent example would be where we've had a lady who's, probably, I think she was in her 80s, if I remember correctly. She was struggling to live on her own. She wouldn't admit it. She was estranged from her daughter at this particular time. I can't really justify standing in front of a magistrate with an 80-year-old lady saying, actually, this lady's causing all this sort of problems. I think it's mental health issues, and yet she's going to end up possibly with a court conviction for something that really she needs treatment for. When we had this discussion with the social care mental health nurse, she was great. She just got stuck in the end. It was hard. Social housing were involved. They tried their best. They obviously couldn't evict her, but they tried to put support into place. And when we started all pulling together, eventually what happened was that she was able to be taken into care. Because on our own we can't deal with it. Everybody does need to work together.
Often, people, especially the elderly, end up using hospital services when they could have been treated closer to home.
We need local services in local areas. Everybody agrees that if you want the best specialist services, it is probably worth going a greater distance for them. Great. Everybody agrees with that. We're not arguing with that, but what we're saying is most services that are needed, either NHS or social care, are needed in the local area, and they are simple needs.
As a GP, it's quite clear that not everything can be managed locally and holistically. We still need specialist care, we still need specialist centres, and the Caring Together programme has to ensure that it incorporates the highest standards so that we can work with all our partners, both in and outside of East Cheshire, to get the best care possible when people really need it.
It can be difficult to be discharged from hospital. Over 22,000 bed days have been estimated to be avoidable.
I knew hospital was where we needed to be, the best place for her. But she was in for 2 months, and I think that was way too long. I think she could have been treated and back out again a lot quicker than that.
The staff were excellent. I have to say they were excellent at the hospital with dealing with the gentleman with why he was there, and also in dealing with the lady because of her Alzheimer's, and obviously I had to just say to them briefly the situation.
The cost of providing health and social care is increasing, and our funding is limited. This means we are facing a funding shortfall of £36.9 million in 2014-15. So, we need to look at how we can do things differently.
They need some lean people in there, look at repetition and everything. They're just not an efficient service, are they?
We can only achieve all this if we care together.
I think a great deal can be done without a great expenditure of money if people will only consider what's happening, what their part is in it, and educate themselves about caring together so that it isn't just a buzz phrase, but is something which will actively work in favour of the patient, which automatically then works in favour of the carer.
We recognise that Caring Together is a huge change programme, but it's one that's built on complete transparency so that everyone who gets involved will be able to see that the options that they're developing are honest, that they are co-designed, and that we can jointly create a health and social care system that could be an example, not just regionally but nationally. And we've got the spotlight on us. We'll never have an opportunity to change for the better like we have today.